So I know a lot of students are curious, like, well, what will I learn in these classes and why is sustainability important? So with SUST 401, Surveying Sustainability, the main focus is to talk about these grand challenges of sustainability, things like climate change and social justice, and how they're all interconnected and solutions for these problems. So looking at both the environmental and social effects and impacts, and as well as economic factors in these grand challenges, and then how each of these small challenges or large challenges might be related in this systems thinking, like Cameron mentioned, in the big picture. And then with this major, this dual major being open to all students, it's really interdisciplinary. So you have students from all different majors coming together, learning about the same things, opposed to learning in their own little department or own little bubbles. So the knowledge that you're gaining here can be broad across the table and open to everyone, for everyone to learn. So with these grand challenges, you're learning about them on several different scales. First, locally, so what's happening at UNH or in Durham, and regionally, so in the area, in Durham, in the state of New Hampshire, and then globally about like what's going on in the rest of the world and where are these challenges, like where are people facing these challenges. And so with each of these scales, you talk about them in SUST 401 and then get to dive a little bit deeper in other classes. So with SUST 401, you learn about at UNH things like the cogeneration facility and how that's a sustainable solution for electricity here on campus, as well as things like agriculture and how we're growing lettuce on campus in aquaponics and in the greenhouses that we can then use in our dining halls. So really local, really cool solutions to some of these problems that we're seeing in society throughout the country and in the world. And then in SUST 501, you learn more about the science of sustainability and can start looking at some of these regional issues and solutions. For example, when I took the class, we looked at Wagon Hill Farm, which is right here in Durham on Route 4, and they had an erosion problem. So we learned about who would be involved in creating a solution for that. So we learned about the UNH researchers and the town of Durham staff that's working on that, as well as outside organizations that are helping to facilitate conversations and make sure everyone really understood the problem and how they go about that. So that was a really great regional example of a sustainability problem, so erosion, and how they dealt with that and creating a solution. And then in SUST 750, the capstone class, you get to work on a project yourself and really see it from the beginning all the way through and coming up with those solutions potentially here at UNH or in the local community. Like we've worked with, some of the projects have worked with Kittery, Maine, and Cameron has helped facilitate those. So that's a really cool opportunity to get your hands on some of the sustainability work. So you're not just learning about these in the classroom or reading about them. You get to see examples on campus in the local community and really get your hands dirty and get to work on some of the sustainability projects. So overall, the sustainability dual major and especially SUST 401 really opened my eyes and helped broaden my perspective. And I think that was, from my experience, one of the main benefits. So my primary major, like I said, was environmental engineering. And while I really enjoyed learning about the environmental issues, I felt that there was something kind of missing. I was like, well, these are cool, but I want to do more. I want to be more involved. Like, how can I help with those solutions? So with the SUST 401 class and the dual major, just in general, learning about all of these grand challenges and these problems that we're facing as a society, and learning about them from an environmental and a social perspective, as well as how financial and economic factors play a role in creating and finding solutions to those problems. I was able to take my environmental knowledge that I was learning in my engineering classes and think about the social aspect, which is something that I hadn't really thought about too much before. So just broadening that perspective and giving myself a better outlook on that. And I think that also helped me take away some more positives, because a lot of the things that we learn about, like all the environmental problems and social problems, can be discouraging. Like there's a lot going on in the world, but I think these classes and the dual major program really help show that there's hope in some of these problems. We can create solutions, especially as young people, meeting everyone in the different classes, since they were from different majors that I wouldn't typically get to meet, was really inspiring to see that there's a lot of people that are interested in this, and a lot of people want to get out there and make change. So academically and personally, I saw a lot of growth after taking SUST 401. I was really excited to keep learning about sustainability, and that's why I chose to enroll in the dual major. And I wanted to keep weaving these classes in with my environmental engineering classes throughout the rest of my academic career. And I think this was probably the biggest academic decision that I made, like making that commitment to take a few extra classes, but it was by far, I think, the best decision I could have made in terms of my academic career and even beyond that. So in SUST 401, we have a personal action project. And with that, I did some composting for a month. So it also helped me on a personal level think about my individual actions and aligning what I do in my life and my lifestyle with my values and my goals and all this new knowledge that I've been gaining through SUST 401. And like I mentioned, my environmental engineering major, I didn't quite think that it was, I didn't expect it to be exactly what it was. So giving me the opportunity to expand on it and really customize what I was learning with the sustainability dual major was a great opportunity to pick electives that helped me find where the engineering and the sustainability converged and where I could go from there and think about possible career pathways in the future and my options for what I could do when I leave UNH and I go out into the world, and where I could start to make an impact. So overall, I really recommend taking SUST 401 next semester or in future semesters, because it really broadens your perspective, opens your eyes to a lot of issues, but also brings hope to those issues. If you're feeling that you want to make a change, you want to do something and really enrich your primary major and all the other things that you're learning here at UNH, I think it's a great way to get started on a path towards sustainability.